said nothing is fresh is the best is. Whoever than himself, he the best is. Impressive. How you rhyming and he be like Andre back in 96 to beat. He in the streets earbuds. Fuck the beats and be cursing like a sailor. I swear I will be writing grander. For those they give you remember the Titans have blood like Perseus. Uncle Tom was like a white man. Stay about his money. Let me in the ear like he's Tyson. And I hear he laid that guy's feet up when he rap. Making the traffic stand still. They freeze when he say action. A small fraction might walk away simply because of distraction. But always getting back. I think it's because I'm so attracted. The attractions in my trap and roll over to the masters on my Oscar De La Renta dog. Get with the classics. It's on your downfall. Make a beat to go imagine. I take a seat and relax. Scratch the beat and keep rapping.
Different world. Ooh. And where you come, different world. Ooh. And where you come, different world. Ooh. And where you come from. The city is loud, yeah.
A chef on the glass, work on the plate, show my ass. Got the skills to pay the bills, but expensive taste make waste haste to your face. And baby, take this creme fresh to your face. Whoa, not like that, gotta make sure it's seasoned right. You ever served 160 within a 300? See humanity testing your sanity. After you were dropping a hole, no light, no more fight. But get that time, you must do the crime. After 12, we feel one, say stories to tell about going through hell. How you almost fell, how you messed up that VIP's Quinnell. This life in the kids, so you got a quick glimpse of what it means to hustle, bustle through our eye muscle. It's crazy, it's crazy. This profession's not for the lazy, cause it's a
different world. Ooh. And where you come, different world. Ooh. And where you come, different world. Ooh. And where you come from. The city is loud, yeah. Here's our chance to make it. Hey, and if we fall less on our goal, you can decide, we can take care. Hey, just remember that you've been told.
It's a different world, man, I'm on some different shit. 250 nowadays for a pair of kicks. I remember when James was like $130, but to rock what I got in my stock, you're unworthy. Foam posits on my feet, never laced up. Foam posits on my feet with the fresh cut. Cargos with the dope t-shirt to match. Wait a minute, hold on, let me check the back of the trunk. Pull them sixes out, feeling like Brian and Dwayne. Feeling fresh in this game like a champ. Got them Jeremy Scotts on the feet with the wings. I'm fly above means, above all. Just to get fresh like God getting these kicks. You gotta stand in line overnight, wait for these shits camp out. Had these for 3 weeks before they even came out. It's a
different world. Ooh. And where you come, different world. Ooh. And where you come, different world. Ooh. And where you come from. The city is loud, yeah. Here's our chance to make it. Hey, and if we fall less on our goal, you can decide, we can take care. Hey, just remember that you've been told. It's a different world. It's a different world. It's a different world. It's a different world than where you come from. Ooh, than where you come from.
It's funny, folks. 2 weeks off from streaming, and you want to stream, and when you come back to the stream, it's this subject, because you started off the new year and now you're in the thick of midterm season. And for those who don't know what midterm season is, that is when we have our elected officials, usually in the Senate, and well, some in the Senate, but mostly in the House of Representatives. They have to go get reelected because they're only elected for 2 years. And this is when each side, the Democrats and Republicans, want to do power grabs. So for the next 10 months, everybody's going to attack everybody. Everybody's going to say why their side is the best and why the constituents for and against each side need to vote for them. Because they're going to make sure to say that they are the ones that are going to fix the country. But there's also a very important fight that's going to happen in 10 months down in this my new state home, Georgia. Folk, if y'all don't know, this is Kid Gravity. You know how we do it. Share, like, and subscribe. That's right, share, like, and subscribe, because I'm not like other YouTubers. I'm different. So as I was saying, Stacey Abrams, if you don't know, last month or November said that she was going to come out and run again for the governorship of Georgia. Now, remember, she never conceded, but gave Trump hell for not conceding this past election. But that's something we'll talk about another day, or maybe later. We'll see. But with this race being that important, because we all know that the Democrats want to change the South. They want to go back to the old school. They want to be Dixiecrats. And they know the Republicans have too many guns, and they're not going to let that happen. So the best way to do it is to fearmonger people into voting for them. And Stacey Abrams will be the figurehead of this. But this is where I come in, folks. Because I saw the announcement, I believe it was on December 6th, if I remember correctly. Or at least late November, but I think she announced December 6th. And I saw black people, I saw white people, I saw everybody. They're like, yes, this is great, and she has a shot, and we're gonna win Georgia. I've even seen the conscious conservative movement, Miss Felicia Killins. She was even saying that Stacey is going to win unless Kemp and the Republicans and the GOP get with them and start doing what she's been doing and getting out there and talking to the people, which is a fair point. But y'all know me, folks. I don't like the GOP. I don't. I think they are too stuck in their ways. There's no real elevation of thinking. And y'all damn sure know I don't like them Democrats, because all they do, like I said, is fearmonger. And also they like to prey on people's insecurities so they can secure a vote. So today, as you saw the title, since I can't put the word BLACK in the title because YouTube will restrict the video, I just said Stacey Abrams is not for us. But I'm sure it's going to be in the hashtags once I put it up. But let's begin, folks. Now, everybody's all happy about Stacey Abrams running. And I said this is going to be an unmitigated disaster if people vote for her down here in Georgia. Because next to Florida, Georgia is probably, well, might be third. Next to Florida and Texas, Georgia is basically how I feel the gateway to the South. We've seen the influx of people running down here over the last 20 years. We've seen people basically call Georgia home, especially a lot of New Yorkers. And we've seen a lot of clashing on ideals between the Southern people that have been here and the transplants, which usually happens in major cities when people flock to it. But Stacey Abrams is she's a particular supervillain. I'm going to call her a supervillain because she is. She appeases the people and makes it seem like she's really for them. But in actuality, when you really start uncovering the layers, you kind of find out that she either has no concept of what really goes on and the consequences of her decisions, or she understands what she's doing, but feels as though the constituency is too stupid to figure out what she's doing. And by the time you figure it out, it's too late. So we all know Biden and the Democrats touted Georgia and the black folks down here as the reason why he's president, which is fair. You could say that because mostly it was because of Stacey and her movement to galvanize the black vote down here. And then when you look at the numbers, you say to yourself, oh, yeah, you know what? Maybe she did do it. You got to pump your brakes a little bit there, folks. Just a little bit. Because here's number one of the half truths that Miss Stacey Abrams has told. Did she mobilize black votes? Yes, she did. But what did I tell y'all on the podcast in 2020 and 2021? She only galvanized the black vote to get it to a point where it looks like it could be close enough to wash the white vote. Because as I've always told you, there is one surefire way of winning an election. You have to appeal to a demographic that the other side does not target or is not targeting. And Stacey Abrams managed to do that by targeting the AAPI. It's funny because as I was looking over the exit polls in 2020, I noticed that the Asian population came out a lot for the Democrats. NBC, NPR, Washington Post, they all reported this. But it never hit the mainstream because it only was on the internet and people weren't looking there at that time. So it got swept under the radar. Even more so, they updated that article on NBC News 4 times. Twice in December of that year. And Yahoo News basically copy and pasted the NBC article. But I found something very interesting in this article that most people don't even understand how deep this Stacey Abrams AAPI connection went. So I'm going to share this screen for you folks. And for those on the audio, I guess I'll just read it for you. But I'll also have the link in the description box of the podcast. Because I need y'all to, I'm not saying you guys don't vote for her, but I need you guys to have all your ducks in a row so you can understand what you're voting for. Now, what you see on your screen is the article from Yahoo News, aka NBC News copy and paste. So I'm going to highlight what you guys should be looking at. So it says Sam Park, a Georgia state representative who once interned for Abrams, told NBC Asian America that the state's House Minority Leader from 2011 to 2017, she regularly appeared on Radio Korea to inform the state's Korean population of what was going on under the Gold Dome. Quote, without a doubt in my mind, Stacey Abrams helped transform the electorate in Georgia by organizing and empowering the Asian American community, Park said. Georgia's eligible voter population has surged in size, with Asian Americans being one of its fastest growing demographics, increasing by 47% from 2012 to 2018. Abrams advocates said has a lot to do with it. With the former state House Minority Leader at the helm, her two voting rights organizations, Fair Fight and the New Georgia Project, which we will talk about later, registered more than 800,000 new voters with a focus on people of color. There's that trick bag word in the lead up to election. And then there was more to that, but number one, folks, I done told y'all, this chick is not for black folks. She wants to ride with the Asians. Now, I've said this many times, either on Instagram, or here on YouTube/the podcasts. Available everywhere you stream your music. I told y'all they're going to focus on them Asians. I said this back in 2020. They're going to focus on them Asians after they got Georgia. Black folks said I was crazy. I said, okay, we're going to see. Ladies and gentlemen, last February was not that far away. What happened? Do 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 do. That's right. Very good. For those that got it. We had a surge in quote unquote Asian hate crimes, did we not, folks? Especially a big case down here in Georgia. 8 Asian workers at 3 spas got killed by some suspected crazy white boy who just had a bad day. But we also saw what happened. Joe Biden giving $50 million to AAPI funded organizations and AAPI centered organizations, while black folks caught the shaft because y'all wanted to stay outside and do the electric slide because 2 people won an election. Okay. So I guess on that point, I was validated. She was cavorting with the Asians for a decade. A decade, folks. Leading up to the 2020 election, a decade. Giving away the secrets, probably kissing their butt, talking about if I get in this government, I'm gonna take care of you. But yet runs around and says, "Oh, black folks, y'all, your voting rights are being suppressed by the GOP, and you need to make sure that you turn a blind eye when we change these rules around, so you don't get in, so you can make sure to vote." I bet you she didn't tell them Koreans that. She was also on Radio Vietnam as well. But I guarantee you she didn't tell them that. But that was her first mistake, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want, you could easily just Google that article or use DuckDuckGo. That's better because I'm pretty sure Google suppressed it. But if you also look in the live chat, folks, I have links to 3 articles. So y'all can't tell me that I'm lying. And I mixed them up. So I have 2 from the right and 1 Washington Post. So don't come up here and try to tell me that I'm using number right-wing people and right-wing sites to get my information. I do this research. So let's continue. Oh, no. No, Google did suppress it, J-Dot. They did. All these sites that I had them bookmarked from DuckDuckGo because I knew they were going to suppress it back in 2020. The NBC article that I initially saw that came out on, I want to say the 5th, they changed it 3 times. The last one was like January 28th of last year. They changed it. It was hilarious. They really tried to clean it up, but you brought up a good point. Voter suppression. Now, we all heard Stacey last year talk about, oh, there was voter suppression and black folks, you know, they're being restricted from voting. We can't even go outside and they can't even pass out water and food to people while they're waiting online. And I'm saying to myself, that's kind of illegal. You can't do that. You're influencing people to vote the way you want. I could influence anybody to do something I want if there is something that I have that they desire. But, you know, let them tell it. That's When it's black folks doing it, it's not wrong. Okay, great. So we all remember she ran outside and said that there's so much voter suppression that companies in Georgia, like Coca-Cola and other corporations, should boycott the MLB All-Star game. They shouldn't allow it. They should call on the MLB to say, until Georgia changes their laws, we shouldn't reap the benefits. Now, what kind of black person tells the entire world that a majority black city shouldn't reap a benefit that would put money in people's pockets because of a law change? Now, again, I work in the quote unquote tourism / restaurant industry down here, folks. We had the SEC championship game down here. I saw the flow of people. I'm sure the city made a nice chunk of change off all them folks. You don't think the MLB All-Star game would have given them what they estimated $100 million in revenue? Even though they try to say that that's not really what it is, even though the game is in Cobb County, but people are not going to go stay in Cobb County. People are going to stay in Atlanta, Fulton County, maybe the outskirts of DeKalb, but that's money. We all know MLB teams have fans that travel. We understand this. So for her to say what she said was kind of dangerous. But then, folks, the best part of this whole exchange, folks, after she said it and MLB took it away and also took away the MLB draft, and companies started slowly backing away from her because they started realizing that if you side with these woke policies, people are going to turn on you. Coca-Cola tried it. They got turned on. They slowly moved back away. Other corporations down here tried it. They slowly backed away. So not only did a majority city that is black lose $100 million estimated, but they looked crazy because the representatives of that city and what gives that city its identity backtracked on something that, number one, they shouldn't even have gotten involved in, but number two, never did any research into the new law, which still kept some of the old provisions. They just updated it to try to appease everybody. And I did a stream on this. They didn't take away mail-in voting, folks. They extended hours for voting. All they say is you can't have someone passing out food and drink on a line because that's considered electioneering and that's illegal. And I even made this joke with my wife. I told her, so all these people in Atlanta that swear up and down they get money and they got all this, they don't have $6 for a gallon of water and a sandwich from Kroger. We can't afford $6. That's quite interesting. But again, we watched Stacey say this on national TV and everybody cheered her when she said it. But then last year, folks, that's right, Stacey said, I did not say that. But folks, as I said, this is Beyond Borders. This is Kid Gravity Beyond. We kept the files. I always keep a mental picture of websites and their links so I know where to go get them. Shout out to Mind Games Uncut. Keep up the good work. Do you stay in Georgia? Yes, I am out in the suburbs. I do not stay in Fulton County. It's J. Brown. She's just not backed by LGBTQ. You're going too fast, bro. We're gonna talk about that. She's backed by a lot of folks that want a black woman to win, period. That's her card, but she's not the black woman. She's not the black woman for me. Oh, we're gonna get to the LGBT, and that's probably what's gonna get me in trouble, but I don't care. I'm praying Brian Kemp stays in office because he handled the pandemic and everything so well. From what I'm hearing, he did, but I have a little reservation with him in the rhino stuff, but one day I might go in on him because a little bit of that rhino stuff I don't like. But let's share the screen, folks, because I need y'all to see this. She flip-flopped. I can't play the video because they'll flag me, but we'll read the article. So it says here, folks, Abrams has been critical of the new law, which opponents claim it makes it more difficult for individuals, particularly black voters, to exercise the constitutional right to vote. However, just before Major League Baseball's decision on Friday to pull its All-Star game out of Atlanta, which will reportedly cost the area $100 million in tourist revenue, she asked that people not boycott the Peach State. So, ma'am, you ran your mouth, again, like I said before, and didn't understand the consequences of you running your mouth because you sat on TV, got a platform, and decided, I'm going to show everybody I'm the smartest person in the room. That did not work. Now, did it? Quote, Black, Latino, AAPI, and Native American voters that are the most suppressed over the new law are the most likely to be hurt by potential boycotts of Georgia. To our friends, please do not boycott us. To my fellow Georgians, stay and fight, stay and vote, Abrams said in the video on Wednesday. But folks, I guarantee you can go look on up on YouTube. I forgot who did the video, but somebody did a video where she first said what she said, and then they caught her, I think it was in March of last year, changing it, talking about she didn't say that. And I'm like, ma'am, you forgot what you said 6 months ago? You seriously forgot what you said 6 months ago? Micah says, well, we still got the World Series. Man, the hell with the Braves. I'm a Mets fan. The hell with y'all. And how'd that work, sir? Y'all won the World Series, not as a lockout. I think that might be karma for the city, but shout out to Atlanta. I love Atlanta. J. Dodd says, I'm gay, so speak freely. You won't friend me, bro. Stand on truth. I appreciate that. Okay. So, Stacey, you ran outside and said voter suppression but if y'all read the law again, it says that they're just extending the hours. They're making it harder for people to influence the vote and other provisions, including you keeping mail-in voting. So how the hell are black people going to be disenfranchised from voting? You're only saying that because it's going to be harder for you to galvanize the vote now. See, here's an uncomfortable truth, folks. I don't know, a lot of people aren't going to like what I'm going to say, but Donald Trump actually did a lot for black people down when it comes to voting, because it made a lot more people aware of what the hell's going on with politics. For y'all to sit up here and think that Stacey Abrams is for black people just because she's black, this is why we consistently get the leaders we get and we get nothing. Remember, Stacey Abrams allegedly got the black vote to give Biden the White House, right? Everybody was out there cha-cha sliding all day in DC. But did y'all hear her say anything when the Asians got their $50 million? Did she lobby and say black people need some of that money? Y'all didn't hear her say that, right? Matter of fact, you barely heard from her last year. She was the only time you really heard about her was when she was shilling her book, her children's book. But now she's going to come outside and everybody's going to kiss her ass now. But then we, as black folks, want to claim that everybody's racist and it's only about us and we be one and all that. A lot of y'all faking the funk. And a lot of y'all, if I didn't do what I do and others do what they do, you're just going to keep voting blindly for these people, not getting anything, and watching everybody else get what we need. But I bet y'all didn't know this. Let's quickly talk about the gay thing, because we know Stacey Abrams rides with the gays. We know this. We're not even gonna, shouldn't say the gays. That's kind of a slur. She rides with the LGBT. We know this. We have the proof. I'm pulling up the file right now. She's against the black family, folks. Yes, sir. She is against the black family. She has made very, very disparaging comments about black men. I need black folks to really understand what we're doing. I'm trying to wake y'all up. She is against us. See, what these lefty politicians like to do is appeal to the minorities within the minorities. Oh, J Dot. Oh, we gonna show the file. We have the file. This is Georgia Voice. This is some local paper down here. This is the LGBTQ Georgia paper. Oh, she was down there last year. Well, this was 3 years ago. Sorry. Here it is. Here's her quote where she talked to him in Midtown. And for those who don't know about Midtown, Midtown is basically the central enclave for the LGBT community down here in Atlanta. So she said, quote, "It's about protecting communities, the LGBTQ community, from being able to be fired or denied access to housing, denied access to services," she told the crowd. "It's about fighting back not only locally, but nationally, and letting the state of Georgia be a voice, not of discrimination, but of defense. It's about making sure that discrimination of any kind, that from the beginning, the governor is the face of what will not happen in the state of Georgia, and that's why I'm running." Okay. That sounds nice. And we know she went to Spelman. She backed the creation of a lesbian alliance. And she talking about how she got phone calls and threats. But like I said, she said many, many disparaging things about black men. Oh, we know this. She was unhappy that Bill Cosby got out and deleted the tweet. We saw it. I wish I kept that one. That one would have been great. But yeah. Look what Yahoo put out. "Be great to have a black woman governor, but as Stacey Abrams launches rematch against Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, some urge caution." Someone says she's going to bring integrity. Yeah, okay. Should we talk about her integrity with New Georgia Project? Should we talk about that? Okay. Let's talk about the New Georgia Project, her baby. That's under investigation. She's still being sued by the state, mind you. Let's see here. Where is it? Stacey Abrams under investigation. I probably shouldn't have put lawsuit because she's suing the state. Oh, and that's the last thing I'm going to talk about, folks. Her comments about the redistricting. Here we go.
Georgia group founded by Stacey Abrams under investigation for seeking out-of-state dead votes. When was this date, folks?
Indeed, Eric. Let's bring in.
Oh
Emily
no,
Larson
you're
now.
gonna get me flagged. December 2nd of 2020. So the Rhino Secretary of this state, Raffensperger, has launched investigations into several groups, including one founded by former Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams for seeking to aggressively register ineligible out-of-state or deceased voters before the state's January 5th runoff elections. We all know what happened down here, folks. We've seen the video with the suitcases. We've seen the articles of Fulton County employees getting caught stuffing ballots, taking money, misappropriating funds. We've seen this. But everybody wants to ignore it because you think white people do it the same way. Raffensperger said Wednesday that his office has received I hate that word. Specific evidence that these groups have solicited voter registrations from ineligible, we could also say illegal, who have passed away or live out of state. I will investigate these claims thoroughly and take action against anyone attempting to undermine our elections. Right. We're not going to talk about that, though. They were sending votes from people that haven't lived in the state since 94. Oh, wow. You got to love politics, folks. It's so much fun. It's like a bad sitcom that's so good that it just keeps getting an extra season. Lord have mercy. And I also came across another article today that I showed my wife. And this just goes to show you, folks, that, again, we're in trouble as Black folks. We are seriously in trouble because we don't do research. I read an article today where they did an investigation down here and found that somebody is whistleblowing, talking about he got paid $45,000 to do ballot harvesting in Georgia. And they have 2 million minutes worth of video outlining people doing this at practice, which is illegal in this state. And you think to yourself, okay, I'm not putting this on Stacey, but this here, it's, you just can't wrap your head around it sometimes, because you say to yourself, we have needs and people are always coming to us for our needs, asking you what you want. And we can get it for you, but then tell you, oh, no, we can't do it now. We got other pressing matters to attend to. By the way, Ice Cube still hasn't gotten his Zoom call link. So, there's that. It's been damn near a year. But these next 10 months, folks, are going to be fun. So much fun. Because we have two people who really despise each other, but also they're going to be so complimentary to each other, it's not even going to be funny. Now, before I go, I do want to talk about this redistricting. Because now Governor Kemp, thanks to the census, was able to redistrict the entire state. And he signed it into law, I think, was it Tuesday? Yesterday? Yeah, it might have been yesterday. No, it was before the end of the year. But no, the lawsuit was filed yesterday. So the Democrats are suing because they said it's going to give them more Republicans, which is only one, but I guess that's significant for them. We have a problem with this, folks, because of course Stacey came outside and she said, you know, this is wrong. We can't have this. Oh, J. Dot, I'm going to address this comment you just said. I don't care what Kemp got to do to keep her out. He better pull every white man car in the world. I'm going to address that as well. Let me get this off the screen. So yeah, Stacey came out and said something about that, saying that this is a power grab and, you know, we can't have this because it's going to disenfranchise black folks. But 7 years ago or thereabouts, 2014, she said that basically she's thinking about 2020 and 2021, because if we allow the census to go through, the majority, which were whites, are going to be ruling over the majority, which is everybody else. Okay, there's more white people than anybody else right now, so it doesn't matter at that point. But in that speech, he was already plotting how to ruin this state. Now, mind you, she was still a representative back then, but okay. I'm going to address what Jay Brown just said. He's got to pull every white man card. I explained this last year as well. Governor Kemp is not real liked right now based on what he did with the election in 2020, with the results. Now, everybody said, oh, Trump was sitting there asking him to find votes and whatever. Okay. That's his prerogative. He just wanted to make sure that the election was fair across the board, especially with all the videos coming out of the underhanded tactics that were going on down here. But then we also peel back that layer, and Kemp basically, like I said, became a rhino and didn't want to do anything to help the GOP because he figured he insulated himself based on how he was performing during the pandemic. And he didn't want to ruin his opportunity to get federal money, especially if the Democrats got in. He's going to have to, he's going to have to butter them up, get some extra funding. And we saw how that worked out. But I want to address the fact that you said every white man card. He's pissed off so many white people in this state, they might just vote for Stacey out of spite. We already know the white liberals are going to vote for her. We already know this. The white liberals in Atlanta, the white liberals out in Macon, Savannah, Augusta, they're going to vote for her. We know this. He's trying to appeal to those white conservatives that are in the rural areas. He's not in their good graces right now. And a little bit also has to attribute to the fact that the McMichaels got convicted and their boy got convicted. You initially told white people now they can't even defend themselves. They're not happy right now. A lot of whites may vote for her just to say they support blacks. From what I've seen down in Georgia, they don't play that card. They're not going to play that card down here. I don't think so. They're going to vote for him. They're going to vote for her because they're upset. It's not about supporting us. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Stacey has right now she has a 60-40 chance of winning. The only way, and I need y'all to send this to Brian Kemp so he can see what I'm about to tell him. Sir, the only way you're gonna win this state, you better adopt that Florida model, bro. Now I know we just got over that Unicron surge. You better call up DeSantis and figure out what he's doing down there, right? And implement it up here. Because right now, if the election was next week, you're done. Well, they already have another person to run. Purdue said he already put his name in the hat. So we may get a three-way dance on that. Let's all contact Brian Kemp. Let's work for him. I'm down. I really want to. I mean, if y'all want to, go hook up with Coach Felicia Killings on Twitter and go hook up with King Randall over there on Twitter and Instagram. Go hook up with them because they're doing the conscious conservative work down there. So they would be the ones that could get the most stroke to go hopefully get a conversation with that man, because apparently they've already talked to the Democrats about doing things down here, which is another bad sign, because if Ossoff can talk to a bunch of conservatives, that ain't helping. And that looks very bad that Kemp, his own people, are not even reaching out to get the black vote. Them white people, that's not a safe bet. And I already just told you the AAPI are going to ride with the Democrats because they want to secure a way in so later they can have their own mayor and their own governor in Atlanta, which would be hilarious. Imagine a black city with an AAPI mayor. How would that look for aesthetics? So in closing, I'm going to say this, Bet. Can you, I'll put, you know what? I'm going to put it in the comments. Hold on. Well, Twitter, how do you write the Twitter one? Okay. Twitter.com/coach Felicia Killings. I think that should be it. Yeah. And I think King Randall's is, yeah, hook up with them because, like I said, they're leading the conscious conservative movement and they been doing a lot of great work. She was just featured on Fox News last month. King Randall, he's building that school down there in Albany. So, yeah, hook up with them. You know, join their movement. They actually have an event coming up in April that I'm gonna go down and hopefully live stream with them and connect with them down there. Yeah, no problem. So yeah, let me get up out of here, but let me just say this in closing. Black folks, I want y'all to cut this clip right here and send this to your people. Stacey Abrams is going to get us killed. And I don't mean physically. She's going to kill us politically, economically, and socially. Number one, she, like I said, for bullet points for people that don't want to watch the video. Number one, she's an ally for the AAPI and the LGBTQ. Two groups, I'm sorry to say, folks, are not for the vested interests of the mainstream black people. They're not. They are seeking to try to change what black people are and our political power. We spent 13 years eroding our political base. And if you guys vote for Stacey Abrams, and we basically have no more power in this country. We've lost New York and that tri-state area. We're non-existent in California. Texas is run by the Latinos right now, and so is Florida. We have no power in those two states. Georgia is supposed to be our stronghold. And as I said before at the beginning, that is the gateway to the South. You see a whole host of black people running down here to try to make something of their lives, including myself. If we lose Georgia, that's it. We're done in this country. Where else are we going to go? Chicago is lost. Detroit, we don't have the economic backing to go in there and make a significant dent in trying to change that city. We can't even get the water fixed. Houston, they just found the Belle Biv DeVoe and wastewater down there, and that's run by Latinos. We're not getting in there. So we need to be, as a group, more politically savvy in doing this research and not just blindly following people because they make these statements out here that go viral. It can't work like that. White folks do not allow that to happen to their people. They tried that with Tommy Lauren. She was gone in 2 years because she said something stupid. The Asians don't even promote their people that go viral. Haven't y'all noticed that? They never do. Andrew Yang, how many Asian people came out for that man? You barely saw it. And then when he got chin checked by those people in the park, none of them Asians came out and saved him. J. Dot asks, how can we do this? Very easy. Follow the Black grassroots. That's number one. Go on Twitter. Look up the Black Authority. Look up Vicky Diller. Look up Professor Black Truth, myself. Hell, go look up Black conservatives. Look up their old videos from 2020 when I told y'all needed to use them to get the message out because they actually had the ear of everybody. Let's all join together on a podcast and do some link ups in the city. I keep a microphone in my hand. Come out with me and make folks aware. I don't mind doing it. I'm telling you right now, folks, it's 10 months away from this election. I'm going to make sure Stacey don't win. I'm sorry. She can't win down here. If she wins down here, we're finished. So J. Dot, if you want to come on one day, you can come on one day. And I don't mind bringing you on. But again, folks, Stacey cannot win down here. She's going to get the black people down here in a worse position than they are right now. That's number one. Number two, black people. I love y'all to death. But the things you guys we got to get our minds collectively right now. This is the third time I've been out shopping and either can't get the supplies. It's either there's no supplies, there's a limited brand, or the supplies they do have are not adequate. It's going to attack the South again. We all saw what happened last year with the gas stuff. That was a test run. They're going to play with the food this year. But then they can't blame Trump for this. That's on Biden. The supply chain is in trouble right now. So I need black folks to start thinking about self-survival. We saw what happened in Virginia over the weekend. Those people were panicked. Sitting on a highway. A lot of them people were telling you, hey, we don't know what to do. Sounds a lot like black folks. The solutions are there. Hook up with other black folks that do things out here. They're easily recognizable on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Use your social media. Stop worrying about dumb shit like celebrities and sneakers and sports. You can have that on your leisure time, but right now we're not in leisure time anymore. From the day the election finished in 2020, it became midterm season. Other groups have been galvanizing for a year for their runs. Notice 24 Democrats now are talking about retiring, including that coon Bobby Rush. We need to make sure we get people in them seats to make sure that the Democrats don't go crazy. Because if they get the majority again, we're done. You think the mandates are bad now? They're going to be worse after November. So that's what you need to do. And there's also things you can do, but I'll probably highlight that in another video one day. Maybe at the end of the week, I'll probably do that video. But let me get out of here. My voice hurts a little bit. I don't have the Unicron. It's been a while since I streamed, so just trying to get back in the flow of it. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe. That's right, share, like, and subscribe, because I'm not like other YouTubers. I'm different. Take care, stay safe, support Black business. Like the little gnome said, wear your face paintings to get your supplies. I'm out. Okay, I'm not out yet. Yes, I am.